Three, two, one. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Just Learn Crypto Show. Today we've got Joe Blackburn, who's the host of Bitcoin Radio, also the co-founder of Crypto Coin Trader. Thanks for coming on the show, Joe. We've been meaning to do this for a while.
What's up, Sean? Yeah, man, it's about time, but I appreciate you finally having me on, man. It's been waiting here for you for the last, year or so.
Yeah, we got busy lives. We got lots of stuff. My toes are in multiple pools, man. So, cool, man. Well, listen, I don't want to have too much of a structured talk today. I just want to kind of flow, and I want to get to know you. This is the first time we've actually talked face to face. We've chatted in Messenger, and
Yep.
I've been in the
got a lot of friends in common.
Yeah, exactly, man. So let's just catch each other up with what we're doing in the space right now, because there's a lot of exciting things happening in crypto right now. We're coming up to the end of another year, 2019. What's your takeaway from 2019, man? What's been some of the cool things about crypto in 2019?
Man, look, after 2018, anything that was green was success, right? I mean, and we just talked about this off camera right before we got on, but 2018 was a tough year. So 2019, I don't want to say it's been slow because Bitcoin has done really well. I mean, I feel like where we are with the Bitcoin market is fantastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, Sean, is as I go at least, and I know many of my friends, and I don't want to speak for you on this, but I'm sure you could at least relate to it, is that a lot of our altcoins have not necessarily recovered, right? And hopefully they will, but they may never, right? We don't know. So the positive aspects are kind of nullified in some ways by waiting on our altcoins doing things.
Yeah.
But the hope is still there for a lot of us. But to answer your question officially, I guess you could say is 2019 has been a relatively good year because it's been relatively consistent. And I think that's what crypto in the crypto space in general needed, was just some positive Bitcoin movement
room too,
yeah.
Man.
And just to be able to say it's not going down anymore, right? I mean, at least we're kind of steady.
What was the lowest point we hit in 2019? Was it 3,200? Was that?
Something like that. I think we may have even kissed 3,000 or 3,100 or something like that briefly.
Yeah. And I'm sure this is going to live with me for a while, because I remember when it hit 32, and it came pretty quickly after it hit 42. And I remember I posted and I was like, guys, if you weren't buying at 42, don't buy at 32. You know what I mean? Wait, it's probably going to go down more. I still have people that are like, when's it going down, Sean? I'm like, I don't have a crystal ball, man. I'm no more of an expert than anyone else, man. And that's why I think a lot of people that are still, relevant and have a voice in this crypto space are really trying to stay away from predictions now, because
Absolutely.
It's like, no, there's no experts in crypto, man. I mean, who would you say, in your opinion, would be an expert at crypto, if there is such a thing?
Yeah, no, that's, that question comes up a lot. And I think you just put that question in a simplistic form, who is it? Who's the expert? And it's what are you talking about? Are you talking about the tech, or are you talking about, it's not an actual question to you. It's just in general, when someone asks me that, in what capacity? Do you mean what price is Bitcoin going to be tomorrow? Well, yeah. I have people who I trust a lot in that. And unfortunately they don't, or I guess fortunately for them, unfortunately for me, they don't necessarily love to be public about that. But, the good traders, if they're really, really good, a lot of them, they don't say anything. These people watch the sentiment of the market, but they don't necessarily stand out on purpose, because they've done really well for a reason. And it's not that they're keeping their conversation to themselves. They just don't want the pressures that come along with, this, I guess, the symbolic, leader of crypto. And then as soon as they're wrong, everybody wants to take a shit on them. Excuse my language.
It's definitely a lot less stressful having 15 people be like, oh man, you made a bad call, and you can be like, sorry guys, I do the best I can, compared to having a million people being like, you fucked us out of all our money.
Exactly. And I'll tell you though, there is one person who has been consistently right about just about every question I've ever had for her. And not a lot of people love her. I mean, she is not someone that's easy to get along with, and that's Ash Rolston, and a lot of people are familiar with her. If you haven't been blocked by her yet, I mean, you're in a pretty small crowd. Nevertheless, that is probably the person I'll go to first in any capacity. And I know that her personality can rub everybody the wrong way, but man, is she right almost always, And so when I say expert, I say she's the closest thing I have that's not just public, but she's also consistently correct, you know.
Cool, man. Who are the 3 top people you follow on Twitter? Like for just in the crypto space?
Sure. I'm actually not a huge Twitter guy, Sean,
Me
right?
neither. I'm
And
I'm on there out of necessity because everyone's like, you need to be on Twitter. So I'm like,
yep,
here's some memes, you fucking hungry bastards.
I
But
feel you. Well, you're already a step ahead of me because I don't really post or tweet that much just
yeah,
based
I
on
never
that.
really see you on crypto
Yeah.
Twitter at all.
Actually, I try not to be. It's just such a impersonable space. Like, I mean, like I feel like where I bring the most value is interpersonal relationships and being available, right?
Hmm.
And I feel like in that capacity, as especially as CCT goes, it was necessary for people to have someone who was like them. And I've made my mistakes. By God, I will stand next to them and say, "Yep, I was wrong." I'll raise my hand, and I will grow from everything I ever do. But crypto Twitter is unforgiving. It's
So bad.
literally one of the worst places as a human being to exist because you're so limited in the mistakes that you can make as a human. I've never claimed to be God's gift to crypto. And I'm
Hmm.
not trying to be that. I try to be someone who wants to introduce the space to new people, right?
Hmm.
And, you know, with that being said, who I do follow and who I do pay attention on to crypto, who I do pay attention to on crypto Twitter is pretty, you know, I would say, I don't want to say exclusive, but the people who I want to hear from I mean, number one, Andreas, AA, dude, that guy is, if there is somebody who represents the space properly,
Hmm.
it's Andreas.
Yeah, I had
And
the chance to actually do my first sit down face to face interview ever on camera
what,
with Andreas about a month ago. He
bro?
was here.
Love you,
Um,
man. That's amazing. Because I have
yeah,
yet to even get a chance to even have a conversation with this guy.
dude,
You
I
know,
was so nervous. I was so nervous. I spent the whole day with him. It was actually surreal,
no
man.
kidding.
He came down for a conference here in Calgary. It was actually a few weeks after the Untraceable Futurist conference in Toronto. And I had like huge FOMO because I missed that conference in Toronto because I moved across the country. And
Sure.
someone messaged me, they're like, man, don't slit your wrists. Look who's coming to your city in a few weeks. And I
Uh
was like,
oh.
and then I went into full like, I'm finding a way to not only meet him, I will interview Andreas. I will find a way. I ended up finding the organizers of the
Wow.
conference, showing up at their office downtown to introduce myself, literally shoved myself into that situation, and then talked to the person who was actually in charge of bringing Andreas in, got the email of the girl who handles his interview times.
Well done.
Uh, and then it was just, yeah, it was great, man. And he did a big talk at the conference, obviously. And me and him had kind of talked a few times before his speech. And you know how they say like like good public speakers, they'll pick one person in the audience and they'll talk to them the whole time. Well,
Sure.
he was looking at me the whole time. Like I don't know if he just like sensed that people get weird around him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
of
people
course.
come up, they're like,
Treat him like a god. You
Andreas,
know.
hi, oh my, yeah,
Yep. Yep.
kissing his pinky and all that. And I mean, I kind of saw it. I saw that as what it was. I noticed he was getting uncomfortable in that situation, and then I saw him heading out for the back door. So I went out around and I went to have a cigarette in the alley, and I saw him come out just to kind of get some air, and I was like, "What's up, man?"
Nice.
And
Well, and that's how you have to speak. I mean, like the beautiful thing about crypto right now is the superstars of the space. It's still they're still approachable, right?
yeah,
Because the space is still so small that anybody with a microphone or anybody who's built any credibility, like myself or yourself, you know, in the circumstance, you know, you have a reason to speak with them, and if you treat them like a
normal people.
dude or like
Yeah.
a normal human, and of course, if a female, don't treat her like a dude, but you know, but with respect, you know, and common courtesy, they'll at least listen to you, right? You know, and there's a couple people, and I still respect this dude a lot, but like what Charles from 88, you know, Hodgkinson, he is very hard to have. I'm trying to say this nicely. He can be a little bit
I'm pretty
I
sure he
guess.
doesn't watch my podcast. Don't worry.
No, of course, you know, but we're on record here. You know, I've been begging. I want Charles so bad because he's such a brilliant person, and I don't
Mhm,
blame him for being a dick to people, right? I don't
mhm,
blame him for being sketchy or standoffish towards the media because he doesn't want to hear bullshit, you know. So I
mhm,
give him the benefit of the doubt on that. But you know, he is somebody who I think is so brilliant and his concepts and what he's trying to build are so important to what the next version of crypto and blockchain is going to be, that I just want his voice. I want him on record with me, right? I want to
Hmm.
stand next to this dude and just hear him out, learn something from him. But, the difference is between someone like him and Andreas is here for the right reasons. Not
Yeah.
saying that Charles isn't, but
No.
Andreas, hasn't created his own, ICO. He's
Token.
not trying to
Yeah.
raise money. He's here literally to try to bring awareness and
Hmm.
understanding of the blockchain, crypto, Bitcoin world that he does it. He's so smart, but he's still able to connect to me and you and
Hmm.
the people who are just now starting. Anybody who
Yeah.
goes and reads the stuff is in a good spot. But to finish off the last two, because I do want to say this,
Okay.
is Andreas number one. Number two, I'm going to have to give it to Pomp just because I think he speaks for us, right? Where Andreas is like, he is the superstar, the voice that I want to represent everything as a whole. Pomp does a really good job I haven't got a chance to really meet Pomp. I've been around him before, but I haven't got a chance to hang out with him at all and really get to know him. But as what I see from Pomp, he does a fantastic job of being really smart, but being really open and welcoming for people to join in. And
Yeah.
that speaks a lot to me because that's how I want to be.
Yeah.
So I model a lot about what I do
He has
as Pomp has.
really engaging Twitter posts.
Yes, he does. Exactly right.
And they're Twitter posts that not just about crypto, but they make you
Yep.
question. They make you question the reality that we live in. They make you question the financial giants that are running our lives. And he's such an intelligent guy. Have you ever had him on the Bitcoin Radio Show?
No, I've communicated with him several times about it, but he's a busy guy, man. He's got his
Yeah,
own
dude.
show, right?
Oh my God,
We
I
know
know.
how it is. I mean, both of us, hopefully, Sean, we'll be in the same. We'll be fortunate to be in the same situation one day, right?
Mhm.
So again, I don't hate people or get mad at people for not having time, right? I mean, it
Yeah.
is what it is. But Pomp is somebody who has done the right things, and I don't think his intention was ever to be what he is, and I love that about him. Like, I don't know Pomp to have been like, I'm gonna have the best crypto podcast,
Yeah.
and so I mean, in a broad sense, I respect that about him. And I'm going to give my third who I'm going to follow on Twitter first, of the top three, to more of just the like organic fun nature. And that is Wendy O, man. I got to give a shout
Wendy
out to my girl,
O.
Wendy. She's a little bit more just casual with how she speaks, but I think people relate to that a lot.
Mhm.
And she may not be, the most, aware person of this particular project, but what she is she's an ambassador to the space.
Mhm.
She's, and to be a personality in Twitter, I don't even want that life. Like, I'm not
No.
about that, right? People say you about the life. I'm not about the crypto Twitter life.
It's just
just
so
not appealing.
quick. It's so quick, man. Like I'm good friends with Ken Bozak. We've spent tons of time.
I
He's come.
just hung out with Ken in Vegas.
Yeah, he's so much fun, man.
Why weren't you in Vegas, by the way?
So when I was
Too cool
in
for
my
school.
nah, I wish, bro. When I was like in my young 20s, I got caught selling weed to an undercover, and because of that, I'm not allowed into the U.S.
At all?
No, man. I'm
I
like
didn't know that about you.
barred entry. That's why I don't go to any of the U.S. conferences, man. I want
Fair
to go
enough.
to all of them.
Look, Baz told me how awesome Toronto's what was it? The Futurist conference
Oh,
was.
dude,
So I'm gonna go to that next year.
Yeah, hopefully there is one, man. I'm hoping that they do it. Just speaking from my own experience, I've organized and hosted two pretty big conferences in Ottawa, which is a few hours away from Toronto, and dude, it's a ton of work. And I mean,
Sure.
attendance is going down on me and Ken Bozak have been saying for years, like, conferences are in a bubble.
Only because altcoins are down. That's it.
Yeah, but there's two kinds of conferences, I think, right? There's the ones that are geared towards like investors, getting a bunch of investors to come in,
Sure.
and then there's ones that are geared towards the community. And I think both are struggling right now, but Futurist, I think, was always more of about the community, and that was the approach I took with my conferences as well. Was
Yep.
one of my conferences, the second one I did was Satoshi's Ball, and it was literally just a huge
That's an
party.
amazing name. Why
Thanks.
wasn't I there?
Ah, man, you should have come. We had flamethrowers, we had 3 DJs, we had a VIP section, we had cater. Like, it was, I really wanted to recreate like the VIP experience I felt at all the conferences I go to, and just have a whole night of that. So we had like I called 3 different DJ people and got all of their lights together. I was like,
Nice.
one's not like, dude, it was popping off in
That's
there. It
cool,
was,
man.
yeah, it was a cool night.
Well, okay, so like on that note though, I think like you said, there's two different types of conferences, and I agree with you. Um, the getting the right people involved, obviously, and this as good as anybody, is super important. And I believe that the people who show up to conferences, I go to the conferences as much as I can. There's three major conferences I'm going to go to a year, and the next two are, number one is going to be Miami, number two is going to be Consensus, right? Why not?
Mm-hmm.
And so those conferences are really important to crypto. North American Bitcoin Conference in Miami is like the second, third week of January every year. To me, that is it really brings out, like, this is the start of the crypto year. I don't know. I mean, obviously, just based on your story, I'm assuming you haven't been before,
I haven't
on
been
that
in
note.
person, but I feel like I've been there virtually.
And yeah, fair enough, but getting the crypto community involved, and anytime I go somewhere, I mean, I think we probably had 65, 70 people at the World Crypto Conference this past 2 weeks ago in Vegas. And I remember in Miami
Whoa.
last
In total,
total, yeah.
65 people.
65, 70 people, yeah. Well, in Miami, it was like probably closer to 100 to 120 people, from CCT that showed up, and they weren't even going to the
Okay,
conference.
hold on. You mean from CCT?
Yeah. Just from my group, yeah.
I thought you meant the total attendance of
No,
the
no, no, no,
conference
no,
was,
no, no,
because I
no,
heard,
no,
I had a lot of people telling me, man, Vegas was slow. There wasn't a lot of people there, but
no.
I thought you
It was still
meant
fun.
like
Yeah,
in
no,
total. Okay, cool. Gotcha.
no. Well, I have some feedback for the Vegas group, and I really do respect what they did. I mean, you had Vegas Blockchain Week, right? Vegas
Mhm.
Blockchain Week, and I like that concept. And they had Coin Agenda, Litecoin Summit, they had Lightning Cup, which was what the Fortnite tournament that Litecoin and Decent.bet put on. That
Yeah.
was really, really
Sh-
cool. I mean, and
Shout
there was
out to D-Bet and Jedediah Taylor,
absolutely,
because that's a really cool project.
dude, and what they're doing next and how they've evolved. I'm so proud of Jed. All the companies and all the projects that grew up in 2017 and then died in 2018. You know, DBET had every reason to say, "F it." Like, we
Yep.
tried, but they didn't. They stopped what they thought was the original idea, and they moved
Evolved it.
forward with the future, which I am a huge proponent of, gaming and blockchain. I don't think there's another industry that immediately can accept the idea of the blockchain like the gaming industry, right?
Yeah.
It just makes sense. Now, I mean, and I don't want to get too off topic here. Vegas Blockchain Week was great. It was just too busy. Like, there was too many things to go check at the same time, right?
Yeah. Like there
And so,
wasn't time to adequately like go to an event,
yep,
let it soak in,
exactly.
network, and then go to the next one, is
And the
from what I
problem with
heard.
that is, I don't know how you could do it different other than not let other companies or other concepts kind of soak into that. Like, it's either do Litecoin and WCC at the same time, or I mean, there's just not enough interest in crypto
Hmm.
as in general. I mean, I wanted to see everything. Like, Litecoin Summit was amazing.
See, so from how you're describing it, it sounds like the ideal situation would have been one conference hall, one speaking area,
Yes. Yep.
and one area where all the exhibition booths are. And
Yep.
it was so basically how Futurist is run in Toronto.
Probably so. I wasn't there, but let me tell
But
you,
it's
there's
you're
only
not
two floors
running,
separating everything. But that's a big difference
bro.
when
That's a huge difference, man.
it's just like, I'm here, and especially for me, who I'm doing Bitcoin radio and crypto coin trader while I'm there, and I'm trying to talk to as many people as I can. And so I focus on this. They actually gave away a real Tesla. Like, I saw this, like, I thought it was kind of a gimmick, like
Yeah,
giving away a Tesla. I didn't even sign up for it, dude. I was like, whatever, ain't nobody gonna win no Tesla,
yeah.
right? Turns out I watched there as 10 people were chosen who might win a Tesla, and then they literally, one person won the freaking Tesla. Sean, I
That's
mean, I was
crazy.
so impressed. Had they just advertised, you get a chance to win a Tesla,
Yeah,
and literally there was enough people, or there wasn't even that many people there. Like anybody you saw or were dealing with, like, that person, I think it was a female. She
yeah.
won the Tesla. I saw her like 15 times, and I'm sitting there like, damn it, I'm an idiot. I will never ever disregard trying to win something at a crypto conference again.
Yeah, man, because it's just you got to keep in mind all the privacy people that are like, I'm not putting my name in some box.
Absolutely.
That cuts out
I just
half
want
the
my email
conference.
address. And Sean, I mean, you've been doing things enough on a public scale where you have to be really careful with your information, right?
Hmm.
You don't know who's going to do what. And I'm in the same situation. There was a time period in 2017, 2018 where my Facebook or my whatever
Yeah, you got hacked.
potential thing I can move in was at least attempted to be hacked. And I got burnt several
Well,
times.
I
And
remember getting a message from your Facebook account saying like, "Hey man,
exactly.
send me Ethereum," and I
I
immediately
got you, right?
screenshotted it and sent it to you, and I was like,
I
"Bro,
got it. Yep.
it's happening, man."
Yep. I mean, dude, and unfortunately, I've reached out to Facebook several times. I even know somebody who works at Facebook, and they're just like, Facebook's not helping crypto people at all right now.
No.
And they don't want to give you the blue check mark where I can verify myself. Same thing goes with, in fact, I'm like, do not give him that. They're like saying, do not give this dude a blue check mark. We don't want to verify because he's in crypto
Hmm.
in any level. And it's not like I am that big of a deal. I don't want to pretend like I think or that I should be given a blue check mark, but it's just, it puts people at risk at this point.
Is it
And
bad that I didn't even know Facebook did blue check marks?
no, it's not bad. I mean, I don't think it's really even, I wouldn't even bring it up except for the fact that I just wish it existed so I could be like, hey, people, if you got scammed by me and it wasn't me, like I have a blue check mark. That's
Yeah,
literally
yeah,
what I
yeah,
want it
yeah,
for. I
yeah, yeah,
cannot be
for sure.
responsible. I mean, this dude, I actually had a conversation with the last guy who did it. I was like, look, dude, I get it. You're trying to make some money. Please don't use me. I'm trying to bring people into the space, like I don't use my credibility for this. And he was like, dude, if you just give me one Ethereum, I will stop. I'm like, dude, I don't have one Ethereum. I'm broke. I got hacked like 2 weeks ago. I mean, obviously I was just saying these things, but
Yeah.
the guy was like reasonable. He was like, you know what, I'll delete the account. And I was like, thank you, scammer. That was really nice of you. Thank
Wow.
just to delete your Joe Blackburn account. That was cheers, right?
Yeah, cheers to that guy. Whoever you are, at least you have a soul.
I mean, that's all I can say is like, I don't know how else to approach the scammer. I mean, if you say F you, like you piece of whatever,
Yeah.
they're just going to like scam you harder.
Yeah.
I was just trying to be a Canadian about it, right?
Respect. Respect. You
Cheers.
just
Hey,
gotta
look, I love
just gotta
Canada.
yeah. Have you been to Canada before?
I have. I've been to Ontario. I spent actually a lot of time in Ontario when I lived in New York for a couple years.
Okay, cool. That's where Ontario's where I was born and raised.
No shit. Yeah. Well, that's a great spot. I was actually living upstate New York near Watertown.
Yep.
And so we went there. I also made the trek over to Montreal. I'm not a huge fan of Quebec, and it's not any reason other than like I felt like the Quebec people were like super elitist, like
Oh,
ew,
there.
like ugh. And like
Oh,
when
you
you go to
don't speak
Ontario,
French?
I guess, yeah, parlez-vous français. I actually speak a very minimal amount of French.
Yeah.
I speak more Spanish, but I did take French for 2 years, and so I enjoy the culture of the
Yeah.
French language. But it was just like I went to Ontario, and it's like everybody is the nicest person on earth, and then you go to Quebec, and they're like, "Why are you here? Like, go
Yeah.
away." You
It's
know.
it really is like that a lot, man. It was I
And
wouldn't say
by
it
the
was
way,
like
that's
the
not to say that everybody from Quebec's that
no,
way.
it's not
That's
at all.
the feeling
You
I got.
no, it's not at all, but it's you're not the only person who feels that way. And coming from Ottawa, where I lived, which bordered Quebec, and Ottawa being the capital of Canada, was a very government
Sure.
mentality city. And then you've got all the Quebec government buildings, which are literally on the other side of the Ottawa River. And a lot of the Quebec workers work in Ottawa and vice versa. So there was a pretty big like blend of government workers, and what I do as a day job. So I mean, I've been in direct marketing, door to door sales, street marketing, brand ambassador work. I work with the public, and not in a retail setting where I'm waiting for people to come to me. I'm going out
Sure.
talking to 100, 200 people a day. So what I say I think should carry some weight because it's not like I went out and talked to two people and gathered an opinion.
Absolutely.
I feel like I've talked to everybody in a city, right? And I've traveled the world. I've been to over 15 countries. Ottawa and Quebec have a very different mentality from anywhere else in the world. Um, it's very close-minded, but it's also very elitist. You're right. I've had so many run-ins in Quebec, and I speak French, but I refuse to speak French in Quebec because I don't know. I have an axe to grind, I
Well,
guess you can say. But
no, I feel you though. But like, I'm from. I mean, I'm from where I live right now. I'm on the border of Louisiana, Mississippi, right?
okay,
And in Louisiana, they speak like there's a lot of people who speak French
yeah,
from their childhood,
yeah,
right? I mean,
Cajun
it's
French, right?
yeah, we'll call them the coonasses, right? The
Yeah,
coonasses. and that's just like a term. It's obviously a nickname that is given to people who are like truly Cajun, right?
Hmm.
And I really appreciate how the French language is actually established. I want to speak it,
Hmm.
but my experiences in Quebec make me pissed off that they think not only should everybody speak French in Canada, they also think that they should be their own country.
Yeah. And they
What
also,
is that about?
dude, they have language police in Quebec. Did you know that?
What?
Bro,
No.
they go around and they make
Language police.
and they have jurisdiction in Ontario. So because Ontario is a bordering province, there's laws that state that every single signage for a business must be bilingual, and it must be the same
Wow.
size. So if you have hello, welcome, you need to have bonjour, bienvenue, and it needs to be the same font, the same size. And stores, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's still as big of a thing as it was a few years ago, but stores were
I'm
getting
sure it is.
fined, bro. They were getting tickets and fines because they didn't have the same size of lettering for the French as the English. And fuck, unbelievable, man. Like,
Oh, no, agreed. No, but I don't have a problem with this, except for the fact that like, don't be an asshole about it, right? Like
it's
that's
yeah.
what it comes down to. Is if that's what you want to do, I am in no position or place to say you're wrong.
But they have a
Just
whole
don't be an ass. I
But they
mean,
have a
like
whole
just be.
province where they could be like, you know what? In Quebec, on parle français. We speak French in Quebec.
Oui.
But they're like, nah, nah, nah. All our neighbors got to be in on this shit too.
Dirty dogs.
But also, we don't want nothing to do with you guys. We want to be our own country.
But
So
you know what I'll say?
like, pick
I'll
one,
say
man.
this, dude. I agree. And by the way, okay, hold on. Before I even ask that question, should Quebec be its own country?
No, they don't have the infrastructure to be their own country.
But like, wouldn't you just want them? Okay, you want to do it? You guys figure
So,
it out,
so
right?
hold on. I'm gonna tell you a joke. I'll try and keep it really short. So, there's an Ontario guy, a Newfoundlander, and a Quebecer. Okay, and they find a genie, and they rub the lamp, and the genie comes out, and he goes, "You each get one wish because there's three of you." And they're like, what the hell? You know, we don't get three. He said, "No, you guys got to share all three of the wishes." So the Newfoundlander guy, the Newfoundlander guy goes, "You know what? I want beer, unlimited beer for all my bros back in
I like
Newfoundland."
that guy. I like that guy.
You know, what a
I
great
like
guy,
him.
right? Newfoundlanders,
Cheers.
nicest people out there. You know, the Quebecer goes, okay, you know what? We want to separate from the rest of Canada. Build a wall all around Quebec, 100 feet tall tabernacle. And then the guy from Ontario goes, so you're telling me there's a wall all the way around Quebec right now? There's no way in or out? Genie goes, yep. He goes, fill it with water.
Nice. Cheers. I like it. Fill it with some water.
Yeah.
All right. So on that note, like of course we got a little off topic here, but I think it's a worthwhile conversation. And as an American, a Southern American at that, you know, my understanding of the Canadian and the Quebecian relationships is minimal. But when, you know, people from Quebec, like try to impose their politics on the rest of Canada. I mean, Canada at some point's got to get fed up with this. Like, I would almost want them to just leave at this point. And knowing what I know about Canadians in general, right? Not Quebecians. I'm going to remove them from this conversation. But Canadians are very, what is it?
Quebecicans.
Quebecicans. Is that a joke? I don't know. Is that really what you call them?
That's what I call them, yeah. Because it's like another country there. I say it's
fair
like
enough.
We're going into Quebexico now.
Okay. Well, I mean, I love Mexico, so I don't want to.
I've never been, so I shouldn't.
Some of the best waters in the world. But I feel you. Like, just because I am naive and a little bit ignorant to the humor there, don't hold it against me. But
no worries.
You know, I would almost feel like the Canadians, who are always so accommodating, even nice, you know, compared to the rest of the Western world. But be like, okay, go. Like, why would they even vote against this? Like let them go. And I would feel like they would be crawling back to Canada pretty soon.
Well, yeah. I mean, and I mean, they'd be forced to use our currency, our banking systems. I don't even. Who knows?
Let them go. Let them do it, man. Like,
Yeah,
I know you're not opposed to this, but
no?
I'm just like, does Quebec realize, like, the moment that actually happens, they got to fend for themselves, and there is no help, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, but
yeah,
whatever.
I
maybe,
think
maybe the French will come to the rescue.
Yeah. Yeah, or just come take over. Who knows? Cool, man. So, what's the project that you're watching right now in crypto a lot? Like, is there any I mean, I'm not saying like one that you're
Sure.
necessarily like investing in, but like what's
Yeah,
something
yeah.
cool that you search up on a daily or weekly basis to follow up on?
This is always, well, crypto first off is reactionary. I mean, like, people got to remember that it's a reactionary space, and what I focus on are things that have actually been built. And I'm really fortunate. I'm really close with the Mouse Belt team, and they got 100 employees, and they're all engineers for the most part, you know. And Mouse Belt's also one of the, and Patrick McLean, if anybody's watching from anybody who's ever watched, and we talked about this before, like Patrick was on my last John McAfee interview the same day that you had your interview with John
Yeah.
Mac. Patrick is a very eccentric person, to say the least, and he's one of my best friends, and he's somebody who I have tremendous respect for, but mainly because what he's built and the reasons why he's built it. And I get a really good firsthand look, and I also get to go to these engineers, these developers who have such a grasp on what's actually working these days. And so I'm really kind of fed up with the maximalism. Even though I consider myself a Bitcoin maximalist, I don't think when I say maximalist, it means the same thing as what the actual Bitcoin maximalists who don't think
So
anything should exist.
what's your definition of Bitcoin maximalism?
Understanding that without Bitcoin, this whole space loses tremendous credibility.
And what's in your opinion the bad definition or the wrong definition of
The
maximalism?
person who thinks that blockchain is only Bitcoin.
Like we don't need anything else. Every other
Correct.
blockchain is a piece of shit. Every other
No
coin
matter
is a
what.
shit coin.
Period.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, I agree with
Doesn't
you
make any
100%.
sense.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. It's such a toxic mentality, this
It's
maximalistic.
horrible.
And
Yep.
there's a lot of people in the space, and I feel like it's starting to turn into like a pseudo religion in the crypto space, where it's like they're trying to these maximalists are trying to recruit other people into their maximalist cult, and it's like,
I would join the XRP army before I joined the Bitcoin only army. And I love Bitcoin first, foremost, and always, right?
yeah,
Bitcoin is the number one thing that keeps this space credible. And I would literally, and I'm, for the record, I'm not an XRP fan. I am not a Ripple fan. And for me to say this, I'm being a little bit sarcastic and I'm
yeah,
embellishing
I
the
understand.
idea,
You're
but I
trying to
would
make a point,
literally
man. Yeah,
join the XRP shilling army before I became someone who ever said that all these other coins are just plain and simple, just ridiculous, and they should never exist.
yeah, I
There
agree,
are
man.
there are 90%, maybe 95% of coins that exist have no need to be here.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of a free market is you might get burned. I know I got burned. Sean, did you get burned at all?
Oh, I've been burned.
2017, 2018?
Oh yeah, I've been burned.
Oh man, like nobody who's been in the space who bought anything besides Bitcoin. I mean, if you bought anything other than Bitcoin, you have experienced the ups and the downs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reminded of this. I bought when I first started all this, and I bought Bitcoin, and I only did Bitcoin for years and years and years because there was very few other options. And
Yeah.
Litecoin and Doge, which were options, I didn't even know how to figure out how to buy them back in the day, or I would have bought the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Okay. But I did it was too complicated, and I just didn't have time, nor was I even that interested. So as Bitcoin went to $1,000 into 2013, Sean, I bought a full Bitcoin at $1,000. You know what happened? Like 2 months, 3 months later, it went down to $250.
$250. I was like, I'm trying to think the timeline. Yeah, that's when it dumped
I'll
down
tell
to
you,
200.
I was like, oh my gosh, like what is this scam, right? But what I do, instead of being really pissed off, I started buying a little bit more, and I market average. And I remember when it got to $400, when it went back to $400, I was even. I was
Yep.
even money. I had 3 Bitcoin at the time too. And because I kept buying when it was a little bit higher, when it was going down to, all of a sudden it drops down to 250. I get to $400 and I'm even. And I'm like, should I cash it out? And keep in mind this too, Sean, and this is the beauty about the crypto space, is that the first Bitcoin I bought was off a message board, and someone sent me a Bitcoin, and I PayPal'd him first $1,000.
Wow.
It was like $1,040 is
was
what
this
I
like
what
local Bitcoins or
this was just on BitcoinTalk.org, and actually somebody else was on Bitcoin Talk, or I think it was Bitcoin Talk. Somebody else was on a message board that was selling a Bitcoin for $1,000. I paid $1,040 for my first Bitcoin. Okay. To watch it 2 months, 3 months later, as a newlywed, as somebody who had just gotten married, $1,000 was my savings account. Keep that in mind.
yeah.
I was like, I got this. It's going to $10,000. All right, this is back 2013.
Lambos.
Moons, right? Cheer. The wait is over. GonnaGetRich.com. So, next thing you know, it's down, but I just kept buying. And then Coinbase, I figured out Coinbase. I got all my Bitcoin in the same wallet, quote unquote. And then I just buying $5, $25, $100 whenever I had extra money. And before you know it, I had 3 Bitcoin, Sean. And I was like really excited about it.
Yeah.
And I kept adding, and then went back to $1,000 one day. And then Ethereum came out, and I was like, I wouldn't touch that. Actually, I was reading and listening to different people talking about it, like, no way, the best it can never do. It might be $1.50. And, this is back when the ICO was happening. I was just like, not interested, nor could I figure it out. I mean, had I been able to figure this stuff out back then, even taken the opportunity to learn, but this is still buried today. Nobody knows how to figure this stuff out if you're brand new. So
it's definitely hard to navigate the bullshit at the beginning.
Especially when all you hear about is scam, spam, and bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And if you're a new person in the space and all you've heard about is people getting scammed, and that's why
I'm gonna censor my dog's private parts right there with my microphone.
That's a big dog, by the way.
Oh, she's freaking huge. She takes up my whole bed, man. She's only 2 years old.
Mastiff?
No, she's a Great Dane.
Oh, it's a Great Dane. Okay.
But cool, takes up my whole bed, man. I miss having a bed.
Hey, look, Great Danes are special animals. I hear they're like people.
They are. If you want a dog that you don't have to walk hours every day and like a really low maintenance dog, Great Dane, 100%. They sleep all day. They just want to cuddle with you. And I mean, they eat a lot, but they're the most like easy go. Yeah, so do I. We get along great. They're super easy going.
It is what it is.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right, man. It's hard for new people getting in the space now to like know what to do. And I mean, you search anything, it's like, you're right, everything's a Ponzi or a scam, and people, they see that, and then it's immediately easier for them to just not get into it at all than go through the effort of finding the right way to get into it.
Exactly right. And I'm a huge proponent of what Coinbase has done for the space, and I don't care what you say about Coinbase or what people have to hate about Coinbase. Nobody's been a bigger bridge to adoption of holding mentality than Coinbase. You can say what you want. No, why hasn't anybody else done it? It's not easy. It costs a lot of money to get this legally okay. Like, they've done it. And they also, and again, I say this, say what you want about them. They did protect as many people as possible. When you got the government breathing down your neck, threatening to like destroy you, and all you do is give away the basics.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for that. Right. And look, Coinbase even shut my account. My personal Coinbase account got shut down. I no longer have a Coinbase account, and I still stand next to them. It's not their fault. They were trying to do what they could do to stay in business and allow Americans, specifically Americans here, have an easy and familiar entry and exit point. Because it is similar. It's similar to things they've used before. Mm-hmm. And I love Coinbase for that very reason. Say what you want. They have been the biggest reason why Americans have been able to get into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Yeah. And if they weren't there, who else would have done it? Why aren't they there? I mean, like, where the fuck are they?
They did a lot, man. They made it very easy for people, and I mean, I've never used Coinbase. I think I used it as a wallet, but I never needed to use any of those companies to get my hands on Bitcoin. I had people in my life that, had Bitcoin for sale, and I could do it either through cash or through, in Canada, we have e-transfer. You can send email money transfers from your bank. So I never needed it, but so many people do need that easy on-ramp. It's kind of like the cannabis industry, man. It's like, I don't need to go to a government-run pot dispensary. I've got a guy I can buy pot from. Actually,
I think it's a great analogy, by the way.
Yeah, but it's like, my grandma doesn't know a dealer to call. You know what I mean?
Nor should she, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that bodes well to what you did. I mean, like, you actually showed your grandma how to buy Bitcoin, and you used that as the template to help others.
Yeah, I mean, I figured, and even, my on-ramp into crypto was from brokering, right? I was like, my background is in sales, not tech in any way. And I was like, how can I find a way to sell Bitcoin and make a small commission? Because that's my strength. That's where I feel comfortable. So, that's what I started doing. I found suppliers, I found a good source for crypto, kind of fine tuned my onboarding process for people.
Yep.
And the longest part of all of it was explaining people how it worked and what blockchain is and how the wallets work and what a private key and a public key and all this crazy, like all these words that people have never really heard before. And then, when my grandma approached me and was like, what's this Bitcoin stuff? And I was like, I want to teach you, but like, I got to approach it differently than I would approach, a 30-year-old guy or a 25-year-old guy.
Absolutely. And, I mean, I deal with this a lot too, because I get between 200, 500, sometimes 1,000, depending on what the market's doing, messages, inbox messages a day, and it gets really exhausting. And I know that you, in some capacity, deal with something very similar.
I don't,
And
man. I'm so happy I don't. I don't
well,
know,
you
man.
took that break. You took that break.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had you not, maybe you'd be able to relate a little bit more. But I know that at least people come to you. Like, people are coming to you, and
Hmm.
there's a lot of responsibility in your answers. And I made a really big point for a year and a half to answer every single message that came to me, because
Wow.
I said, if I'm not answering, who is giving them
Who
advice?
is? Yeah.
I cannot literally in my body sustain that type of reply. I guess on a consistent basis anymore.
Yeah,
It's
man.
just gotten too much now. But what I do find so interesting is that, I look at what the space has become. And, we needed 2018. We
Yeah.
really did. Like, it needed to be clean. The expectations
Hmm.
needed to be smashed, because it's just not healthy to think that it's going to go up. And everything has a bubble, whether it's the stock market, whether it's the .com boom, whether it was the altcoin, craziness of 2017, the free market. And I'm a huge proponent. I'm a libertarian by principle. It is none of my business what the fuck you do with your money, Sean. Sorry,
Hmm.
I don't know if we can cuss on here or not, but
Oh, don't. We can fucking cuss. Don't worry.
yeah, it's not my business. It's not my business to regulate the scammers. It's my business to highlight who the scammers are. But
Hmm.
it is not mine to say this person is not allowed to do this, because if you're going to allow somebody to be successful and to do the right thing, doing the wrong thing should come from
Yeah.
the common market and understanding what the hell is wrong with the space. Let's fix it. Let's clean it up.
Hmm.
And if you are a person who just has no responsibility for themselves and only wants to blame everybody else, then you want more government regulation. But if you have a lot of internal self-responsibility, this is what the world's missing right now too, by the way. I mean, politically speaking, I'm not even being political. Okay. I'm being on a human level. If we were 1,000 years in the past, your goal and your objective every single day is to survive and stay alive.
Yep.
That's it. That was your only
Eat or be
goal, was
eaten.
exactly. And there was no, oh, I'm going to watch the Kardashians today, or I wonder what's on Netflix tonight.
Yeah.
You literally were just trying to freaking stay alive. And a matter of 1,000 years, and in the course of the universe, this is a very small time period, right? And humans have evolved on a technological level to a really, really high level. And, we're only going to continue to get more technologically advanced, right?
Until if it all just
Collapses,
goes away and collapses, and then where the hell is humanity then? We can't even fucking change a
right?
tire.
And people don't realize like how easy it would be if like Russia or China really wanted to F with us, like as North America goes.
Hmm.
They could just explode a nuclear weapon above us in space and literally EMP the hell out of us.
Yep.
And guess what? You know, shit's not good.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be good for anybody.
Well,
But
yeah, man, that makes me nervous too, man. I mean, Canada, we're like the little toque on the US's head, We're right above you
mm,
guys. You guys are over there fucking causing all this shit, and we got to be your neighbors.
the only problem I have with Canada right now is that they just beat the US 2-1 or 2-0 in a friendly match in soccer.
Yeah, I mean,
That
I
was
don't
the
I
first
don't
time in
really
30 years.
really.
30 years the US has not lost to Canada, and that was a big loss because I mean US missed the World Cup last time, and I'm mad about that. And so Canada, F you.
Well, hey, you know what?
I'm not mad at Canada for wanting to win.
All I can say, and I think I have a duty to my country to say this is, sorry, eh?
Hey, sorry, eh?
Sorry, eh, bud?
When I come to Canada to hang out, and I don't. Are you and Baz friends?
Yeah, me and Baz, yeah.
Yeah. Baz is one of my close friends, and I love Canada. I love Canadians. Like every Canadian I've ever met has been like a friend.
Yeah.
Period. So I'm not really hateful towards it. I'm just
there's
pissed.
don't worry, there's bad apples in the group as well. I mean,
I don't
talking
know.
at
Like bad apples in Canadian terms is like somebody who like started a fist fight at the bar the other night.
Nah, I got a bad apple here in Calgary. His name's Jan Serrato, and he's someone I actually really trusted in the crypto space before moving out to Calgary. I thought he was like a co-owner of Crypto Culture magazine. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but
I'm not.
they're like a print magazine company out of, I think, Vancouver.
I respect that though.
Yeah, they were doing great things. And when I did my conferences, they were friends with like Ken Bozak and this guy Jan, who was, apparently, you know the face value of what he was doing, like the top layer
Sure.
of it was running meetups and organizing small conferences, and he looked like he was doing really good things for the space. And he reached out to me about my conferences saying, hey, do you want me to send some magazines out? And I was like, sure, man, that'd be
Kind of
awesome.
cool. Yeah, I mean,
It'd be
who
really
would say
cool.
no?
Yeah, of course. So that was like what I knew of him. That was the capacity of it before I moved out to Calgary. And I was like, then I messaged him and I was like, hey man, I just moved out to Calgary. Like, we're neighbors now. We should get together, grab a coffee. And met him once in person. And I have really good intuition, man. Like, I think from doing door-to-door sales and doing that for over a decade, you learn to read people pretty quickly.
Agreed. Yep.
And just instantly all my red flags were going off. Like, there's something up with this guy. And then I started hearing him talk about Cloud Token, which
Cloud. Oh yeah.
so they started off as Cloud Wallet. They're a self-branded super currency wallet running on blockchain 4.0 technology.
Blockchain 4.0. How
Oh
about
yeah,
that?
man. Oh yeah, for sure.
Wow.
And they're just like BitConnect, right? So they have their proprietary cloud token, which is ERC20, but they don't give out their cloud token. They give out cloud points. If you trace the actual CTO ticker on Etherscan, it's sitting in a few wallets. They also claim to have like proprietary trading bot technology, and it's called their Jarvis
Wow,
wallet.
look
like
at these badasses.
like
Just taking the space by storm.
yeah, they're really they're like the Avengers and DC Marvel all rolled up into one. Anyway, clear cut Ponzi scheme, clear cut BitConnect 4.0. And
Connect, not blockchain.
no, now they're BitConnect 4.0. And then anyway, so I was like kind of annoyed. I was like, Jan, like, I looked at this for 2 seconds and I can tell this is bullshit and they're gonna exit scam everyone. Like, why are you promoting this? He was like, hey man, I'm making money from it. It's not my job to tell other people what if it's a scam or not. And I was like, dude, it kind of is. Like,
it's like legitimately your job.
It was just like the typical MLM thing. Like, what I mean? Like, hate me or love me, I'm making money either way. It's not a scam if I'm making money. And it's like, well, nothing's a scam until it is a scam. And there's no like, they promise 12 to 18% returns every month. There's no sustainability in that. How can a company sustain? So
not
I mean,
at that level, that's for sure.
no. So I mean, all they're doing is they're getting new people in. They invest Bitcoin or Ethereum. They put it into their Jarvis trading wallet, and then when people request withdrawals, they're taking new investor money and paying people out with that. And then, so I mean, it's exactly what it looks like. It's a total Ponzi. So, I mean, me and another kind of content creator here in Calgary, we both, between the two of us, run quite a few like Facebook groups, and both of us, I called him one day. I was like, dude, is this Jan guy trying to share cloud token stuff every 5 minutes in your groups? He's like, dude, it's nuts, man. Every 5 minutes he's trying to post something. So I messaged him and I was like, dude, I'm not going to approve any of this. Like, I have a responsibility to people not to promote a scam. Like, why are you promoting a scam? You've been in crypto longer than me. You know what this is, man. You're just trying to make money. And then it got really nasty and he was threatening me, and it just turned.
I love people who like actually threaten. Like, you want to actually fist fight? Like, that's. I mean, if people knew,
dude,
they don't have any balls to actually do this in real life.
I literally.
Do you know how many views we would get if we actually set up like scammers versus people who want to fight the scammers?
Dude,
like,
I literally
sent we got to get Dana White on the phone.
I literally sent him a Google Maps pin of where I was, and I was like,
Let's go.
come
Let's
find me, man,
fucking go,
please.
bro.
Like, you don't fucking know me, man. You don't know my, like, what I've done in life.
It's time. You better
And I was
learn.
like, you want to be tough, man? Like, just come, let's go. I'd love to get this on camera. It'd be a really great, so it'd be
Do
some great
Canadians
content.
fist fight?
Yeah, we do, but like we get like beavers to referee the fight, and it's
Yes.
usually in like a pool of maple syrup, so like it ends up
And some
being,
of that's blue.
yeah, exactly. And then I mean after the fight, we hug each other and we say sorry, and
Which I respect that, by the way.
yeah. But anyway, man, it was just so annoying that having someone like that in my own city,
Of course.
just
No, you
promoting
did
a
the right
scam,
things.
man.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's our responsibility. And I say this, and you know this, Sean. Like I say, hey, it's our responsibility to take care of the cryptoverse. And if we don't do it, who's going to do it? It's these scammers, it's these assholes. And look, I never monetize CCT ever. And for that reason alone, like I feel like there's some credibility behind when I say this. Like, if people don't have a good heart about crypto, like if you don't really believe in it, you're going to be exposed. And when you fuck up, you got to stand next to it. You've got to be like, look, no human on earth is going to make no mistakes. I don't care if you're the president or of Canada or the United States, or whether you are the librarian at the local library. You're going to mess up. It's at what point do these mistakes become
A
like
habit.
hurtful, right? Yeah, exactly. And did you mean to do it? Was the intent negative? Was the intent like in a dishonest way, or was your intent like honest and then you messed up and then you say, my bad, shit, I messed up? And if you do that and you stand next to it, as a Southern American, you know, we are a lot more respectful to people. And I think Southerners and Canadians are probably a lot alike in this.
Yeah, man.
Whereas if you can respect humans in general and you recognize that people are not perfect, period. They're not. There's nobody who's not going to F up. Everybody is subjected to some sort of greed, lust, you know, desire, want, needs, you know, and these things will take precedence at times. And if you don't learn from those, that's when I got a problem with you.
Yeah, but it's the people that just are outright repeating the same patterns. You know, they go from one MLM to one con to one scam over and over and over again, and they find new people to prey on. Those are the people that it's like, you know what?
Absolutely.
The gloves are off. Enough's enough. You need either an online ass beating or a real life ass beating, and it's like, you know, I'll do both. I'll do both, man. Like, dude, I all I've been doing for the last 24 to 48 hours is making memes about this Jan guy, about Cloud Token.
I saw it happen. I watched Bozak literally like give this guy like a almost a physical ass whooping.
Yes.
I wish he would have just done it. Like, I mean, he wouldn't have gone to jail.
Yeah, no, so there was two separate incidences with Ken. You're thinking of Jorg Moulton.
Jorg, yeah. Jorg.
So
I was there at
so
WCC.
yeah, so but also that Jan Serrato guy was also at World CryptoCon.
I did not see him.
So he's a bald guy with like really douchey wannabe Iron Man glasses.
You have to send me like a picture of him so I know if I met him or not.
Yeah, no worries, man. If you go on my Just Learn Crypto page, I've been sharing memes with his face all over them.
I will. Go check that out.
But yeah, so that to talk about that Jorg Molt guy, so he's someone who me and Ken Bozak met over a year ago on the blockchain cruise out in the Mediterranean. And this guy, I mean, we almost got in a fist fight with this guy on the boat. He was going around telling people he was Satoshi Nakamoto. He was the co-founder of Bitcoin. Me and Ken organized like a huge panel at the end of that cruise.
Nice.
And we had Omar Baum, we had Michael Goof from Box Mining, Ivan on Tech, Jimmy Song, Tone
good
Vase,
group. Shit, yeah.
all on a panel with Ken Bozak, and it was being moderated by Leo Wald, who's Tone Vase's like friend, coworker, assistant. I don't know exactly what her role is, but and you know, we opened it up to Q&A at the end, and this Jorg guy grabs the microphone and just starts self-promoting himself for like 5 minutes. And you know, Ken literally got up and was like, "Do you have a fucking question, or are you just trying to talk about yourself?" And we literally had to rip the microphone out of his hands.
I could see that. I mean, like knowing what I saw in Vegas, that makes complete sense. You know, and I was like, Ken, like, why are you messing with this dude? Like, I didn't know anything about Jorg before this, you know, and it makes complete sense now. And at first I was like, I just don't like the crypto space getting this type of reputation.
I don't like it getting I mean, what's the other side of the coin though? That we
no agreed. No, this is how you have to handle things like that.
You know, Ken might be aggressive and he swears and he openly
agreed.
does
Yeah.
drugs, but he is the most honest, real person I've ever fucking.
He meant well. Yep.
He continues to mean well, and he's got nothing but good intentions. He would rather live off ramen noodles and call out every scammer in the space than work or be connected with one to financially gain. That's one thing I can say about Ken is you cannot buy Ken's soul. It's not for sale.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. And you know, I actually have not hung out with Ken until the last night of the World CryptoCon. Like in general, like in the whole thing, we've been connected. And actually, me and Ken, we kind of got big at the same time. I hate to use the word big, but
No, but you
me
guys
and
did, man, for sure.
me and Ken were part of the same like 40-person group that kind of inspired us both to some extent to take the next step up, right?
Yeah. Well, you know,
And
people like you and Ken were what inspired me to get my shit
absolutely.
going. So
And we had people who inspired us beforehand, you know, and I appreciate you saying that, you know, and not that I ever disrespected or did not respect Ken. That would be the wrong thing to say, but I didn't know Ken's intent. In fact, me and Ken had gotten into an argument, and you know, I'm a man of faith and I have my own personal beliefs, and I don't ever go out on a limb and like disrespect people who think a certain way, whether you're a Christian, a Muslim, a Buddhist, or agnostic or atheist. Like it is what it is. You guys will figure out what you want to be, and you have reasons for that. It is not my job to come in here and convince you, especially to push it on you, but even to convince you otherwise. If you have questions, I'm more than happy to answer, right?
yeah,
And Ken was given some he, you know how Ken can be. He can be a little outspoken about certain
yeah,
things, and it was Easter weekend, and he was just saying some things that were a little bit harsh. And so I spoke up. And after that, I was like, F this guy, I'm done with him, you know?
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like 6 months later, I see him popping up all over the place, getting Litecoin tattoos, the smart talk with Charlie Sherman. I'm like, who the hell, where did this dude come from? You know, like, I mean, like this dude right
So
here.
this was a while ago then.
Oh yeah, this was 2017-ish, you know,
Okay.
and I mean years ago. And then of course after that I started paying attention to Ken a little bit more. And I mean, just our one interaction was minimal in the long term things. And he's a great proponent for what crypto and blockchain mean. He believes in what Bitcoin and blockchain can do and
Mm-hmm.
are doing as we speak. And I, of course, you know, got to hang out with him finally in Vegas in person. But overall, you know, like regardless if you're fist fighting York or whether you're calling him out, it's important that we do have a just a line drawn in the sand. Like if you cross this, it's over with. And
Yeah.
if we all understood that,
Mm-hmm.
and if we stop being so concerned with, I don't want to get involved in the drama,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, we could do a lot of really good stuff and we could really clean the space up. But of
Bro.
course, people are just so impartial, or
Yeah.
they're greedy and they're getting paid, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, what do? You know, the people you see monetizing everything that they do, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying you can't monetize and be a good guy or a good
Yeah.
person. You can, but the people you see doing it for everything they do, you should automatically say, hey, red flag, that dude, that person, that chick, not
Mm-hmm.
in my life.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I'd consider myself someone who has the noblest intentions for crypto.
I
Um,
agree with that.
but I also monetize, man. Like I
You
work
have
with,
to.
I
Yep.
work with companies. I'm never ashamed to admit that, like, I'll take money from a company to promote them, but I'm not,
Absolutely.
but
Are you
but I
open about
also,
that?
absolutely,
Exactly.
but I turn down 10 times more companies than I accept.
100%. And I believe that, Sean, I 100% believe that. And it's not about monetizing and making money off of something you're spending so much time on. You have
Mhm.
to.
Yeah.
I mean, how else are you supposed to live? You want me to do this for
Well,
free all the time?
you know what I mean, man. And I actually, I would, and I do. So to some degree. So, I lived on crypto full time for, about a year and a half, midway through 2017 until the end of 2018. My only income was coming from doing conferences, uh, sponsors, this, that, promoting this company, brokering Bitcoin. Like
Absolutely.
it was a lot of fucking work, man. And it took all the fun out of it. But I took like an 8 month break after I'd hosted Satoshi's Ball in Ottawa, and then got back in when I moved here to Calgary. And I have a great career. I mean, I have a great day job that I don't need any money from crypto. So a lot of what I do with companies is just bartering, man. Like it's like,
Absolutely.
I need I need this,
Yep.
it's something obvious. I can afford to buy it, but I'd rather not
Like
have to spend my
feed your
money on it.
dog.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But it's like, and there's a lot of companies that I rep for free because I just like
No, agreed.
They're a product, and it's not up to me to tell people which one pays me and which one doesn't. I've got 6 companies that I have the logos for on these videos,
Sure.
and some of them throw me some money here and there. Some of them I do it completely for free. I mean,
I'm not here to judge on that,
yeah,
at all. And obviously, you're not representing or supporting any company that you don't think is at least like at least doing something decent.
yeah, man. I mean, I the companies that I, work with or whatever, if you want to call it work, but are companies that I use and that I think are fucking badass. Like,
Good for you.
like
I
Presearch,
don't have any
man.
problem with that, by the way, at all.
Yeah, like I don't know if you've heard of Presearch, but they're like Presearch is a search engine that pays you in crypto every time you search instead of using Google, and they don't keep your browsing history. They don't sell
I
your
love it.
fucking data,
I'm not
and
really familiar with Presearch, but in the same note, I'm using Brave for everything I do,
yeah, I use
which is
Brave.
in similar
Yeah,
concept. And
yeah,
I'll check out Presearch after this.
yeah. Presearch is a Canadian project,
Good,
which
good.
I like. And then I like to promote Uptrend. Uptrend,
Dude, I love Uptrend. Jeff,
yeah,
my man,
yeah,
Kardakis. That's
yeah.
what's up, bro.
Jeff Kardakis, great dude. I
One of
think
the best.
anything that we can do to get away from these monopolizing
Yep.
companies like Google and fucking Facebook and everything. Like, I mean, I like Facebook, whatever. It's probably the platform I use the most for
Yep,
now,
me too.
but I think it's coming to it. I think something better is going to come up. I mean, we don't still use MySpace.
Agreed, but that's just because Facebook killed them. But
Yeah,
I agree. No, like,
but I'm hoping
Facebook
something
has
will
been
kill.
well, absolutely, and it will. No empire lasts forever, whether it be
Yeah,
America, whether it be
exactly.
Canada, whether it be Facebook. Right?
Hmm.
Something will come along, and Twitter for all it does well, and I appreciate Twitter. I think Twitter has a really cool ethical guideline that they use. I'm really, really, really focused on what's right for humans.
Hmm.
I mean, it means a lot to me, and everybody's got to make money. Everybody's got to feed themselves. Everybody's got to do things that they don't necessarily want to do. Not saying it's wrong, but
Hmm.
like I don't want to go to work every day, right? I mean, like how many people can say I want to just spend all my time at work? And
Hmm.
unless like it's like you're a professional athlete or something that
Yeah.
even professional athletes hate their job at times.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
They
like
retire.
exactly, like they stop at some point.
Yeah.
You know, there are very few people who are doing on a daily basis everything they personally want to do. It's just not possible.
Hmm.
You've got to sustain yourself, right? And I say that to say this is that
Excuse me.
when you can find and you can build something that means a lot to you, that you're doing, that you want to do, and that you can bring some honest positivity to the space, you have to get paid if you're going to do that. Like you
Yeah.
don't have a choice. Like if you want content, folks, you have to understand that someone at some point they got to make money and enough of it for them to be happy
Yeah,
and to see
exactly.
scalability.
And I mean, time is money, man. Like I could be cuddling with my dog, taking my dog for a walk right now, but no,
I'll cuddle with your dog.
yeah, oh, she's the best.
I could see. Look, dude, she's just been chilling there the whole
Dude,
video.
her whole life is just sleep. Yeah, we're talking about you.
What's her
Dude,
name?
I have a camera so I can watch my dog during the day, like while I'm at work.
Oh man.
She sleeps from the minute I leave till the minute I get home. She goes outside, pees, poops, comes in, eats on my bed, sleeping all night until I literally have to get her out of bed and be like, "Hey, you need to go to the bathroom before I fall asleep."
That's right. Fair enough. Like in the
But
South, I'm sure you guys can relate. It's called a dog's life. Like
yeah,
just chilling. The
yeah,
dog's life, man.
straight chilling, man. She's got it made in the shade,
Yeah.
that's for sure. But yeah, man, people got to make money, and that's what people don't understand. It's like you get what you pay for. If you want to if you want to have someone who makes content and they never get paid in any way, then it's like they're gonna lose interest.
Absolutely.
They're not gonna be focused on making it better. Like I've I've invested like a lot of my own money in getting a better camera, getting a better microphone, a better computer.
Yep.
The time I've invested in, learning how to do video editing. Like this is all shit that's all extra, that extra effort that we put into what we do, and whatever, man, it'll pay off in the end,
You
I
know,
think.
you know what I remember is in 2017 when I quit my job because everything went up a lot,
Yeah.
right? A lot. And then 2018 happened. I was like, oh, what? Hey, old boss, I might, I might need another job. Let's see if I can
Yeah.
figure this out. So it's a grind for me too. And just like Ken, and this is where I respect him so much. And as you brought up, like he'll eat ramen noodles every night. And I have a family, and I've got to take care of myself. But I've been very fortunate to be able to make money outside of just doing things that I
Hmm.
don't necessarily agree with, and I've learned lessons. I've put myself in situations that I had to say I was sorry for, but I've also helped a lot of folks, and I'm really
Yeah.
proud of that.
Proud of you too, man. I mean, I think
Goes both ways.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So listen, man, we said we'd try to keep it under an hour, so let's try to wrap it up because I have a
Sounds
feeling we
good.
could go for another 2 hours if we just let it spitball.
Always.
So,
And I look
I
forward to coming on again. Hopefully you'll
yeah,
invite me.
man, dude, absolutely. I'd love to have you back on. So, since we're talking about shilling, I'm gonna shill the companies that I either
Show it out, baby.
collaborate with or love. So, I'm gonna give a shout out to Epic Cash because they really have one of the most anonymous digital currencies. Their website's epic.tech. Uptrend is Uptrend with two N's. Dude, if you guys don't have an account on Uptrend yet, what are you waiting for? Go make one. My referral link's down in the description box. Grab yourself some free tokens by using my link. Pre-search, totally free to sign up with and use. My link's also down there. You get paid every time you search. SwissKey.io is a new mobile digital cryptocurrency wallet built off of the Edge technology. If you've ever used Edge Wallet, this is very similar. They've just upped the security and upped the user experience, made it a little bit nicer. Voltoro, if you guys are trading, for people who do trading and go from Bitcoin or crypto to Tether, check out Voltoro because they're actually originally a gold exchange that have integrated into a crypto
I can
exchange.
appreciate that.
So you don't have to stay in crypto. You can go from crypto to gold. And they actually use Brinks Volting, which is out of Europe. They're the biggest gold Volt company. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is right now anyway. But yeah, you can get the gold shipped to you, and take some of the stress out of putting money into Tether.
And I buy precious metals every chance I can get.
Yeah, man, check out Voltoro.com. They're really cool. I actually have going to be posting an interview with the CEO over the next couple days, so check out that. And then Stroken.com. Just because my
Stroken?
mom might watch this shit, I'm not going to talk about it too much, but
Stroken.com?
go to Stroken.com, guys, if you want to see what it's all about. But it's
Wait. I want to know more about this Stroken.com. I know your mom might be watching, but
she's not watching. So Stroken.com is a project out of Florida. They have all the morals of a crypto company, but without the crypto. So I mean, they really
okay.
do. They really, and I say that, and I really mean it when I say that. Is like, there's not many a lot of companies out there don't have good intentions.
Agreed.
But this is so Stroken.com is an adult industry website. They are
Stroken.
so this is where it gets cool, man. They're bounty based porn.
Ooh.
So, and they call it collaborative crowdfunding. So let's just say I want to see something really specific. I put a bounty on their website of say $100, and I really want to see X have sex with Y, whatever. People
This
can
is
then
actually impressive.
People can then go on Stroken.com and be like, you know what? I'd throw $50 in to see that. And you build up a pool of people, your bounty gets bigger and bigger. And then on the other side of it is you have the performers who register. Once they make the content that you want to see, they collect the bounty. If no performers ever end up holding up their end of the bargain, everyone's money gets released back to them. So it's not live yet. It's very close to being live. But if you guys want to see what it's about, you can check out Stroken.com. It's just a really cool project, I think. And I mean, it's 2019, guys. Everyone watches porn.
Everybody? Okay,
yeah, no, they did a poll.
What is this porn? You said Sporn?
No, they did a poll and 100% of people watch it. So you must have did the poll.
It was me. Okay.
Yeah. No, guys, but
I was actually just checking your browser history, and I stumbled upon it.
Well, I actually search everything up through pre-search, so it doesn't store my browser history. So
I lost that. Got him. And another way to plug another awesome company.
I'm such a good shiller. Listen, Joe, thanks so much for coming on, man. I appreciate chatting with you. We definitely have to do this again soon. And if anyone,
always, John.
Yeah, man, if anyone has any questions for me or Joe, throw them in the comments. I'm going to be posting this all on multiple platforms. So just reach out to us. We're both, as Joe said, we're here to be there for people. If you guys, we'd rather you guys come to us than not come to us and go to a scammer.
That's right.
So reach out, and as everyone enjoy the rest of your day. Stay crypto, and check out Bitcoin Radio. That's Joe's podcast. and check out his group, the Crypto Coin Trader. It's, you know, amazing content on there as well. So Joe, have a good day, man.
Cheers, Sean. Hey, you keep doing what you're doing, bro.